Well, good evening, all your BB gamers. This is your host Byron, your BB gamer, and this is my brother, Ventus of the Wind, Ryan. Today, it's October the 5th, correct?
Yes, October 5th.
Okay, we got a couple of things going on, but it's
For this
not,
episode of The Right Gamer Opinion.
yes, and let's just start things off with, of course, Overwatch. Overwatch 2 just recently came out, like yesterday, from what I take it. But it hasn't been a very good launch because servers are crashing. There's a lot of queues out there.
Queues.
Queues or queues or what?
It's queues, Byron.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and speak about this because I know the technical stuff about this, and from what you're saying is that there's a rather large influx of players going into the Overwatch servers, and they're causing a lot of traffic that the servers can't even launch the game. I mean, you're put on a queue, and it could range from 1,000 to over 500, 50,000.
Yes, players waiting just to play this. And from what I've heard from the ordering, even even some other YouTuber sites or
That are
YouTubers.
taking the news of the Overwatch situation,
Yes,
and shout out to them.
indeed. But this whole situation is really not looking well for Blizzard, especially since they made the hype for Overwatch very clear. This whole thing has been really off-putting to both you and me since we've been trying to play the game ever since it started launched like around noon of yesterday. And
Well, being somebody who has been playing Overwatch many hours since it came onto the Xbox 360,
and luckily
and then
enough,
it came onto the Switch afterwards.
we were able to transfer our accounts to it, which is a good thing, honestly.
Yes, and so the the, the thing is that Overwatch has so much going on for it, and people are wanting more to come out from Overwatch when they also figured out that they were going to make a second game for the series. And of course, the hype is all there, but it had its bunch of rough ups and downs, mostly due to stuff going on at Blizzard and people getting fired, sexual harassment going on over there. Even the creator, the director, creator of the series eventually quit, and he left Overwatch to to another person who he trusted could do it the right way while he's watching over them for the time being until he completely leaves the series. And fortunately, when they showed off Overwatch 2, the first trailer, that eventually got the hype going. But of course, when it finally came out,
It had a lot of problems going for it, especially the whole logging in issues and the server crashes. I mean, try. For me, my experience is that I'm trying to play on the Nintendo Switch Lite, and I end up getting like queues of 50,000 players in waiting, and it takes like over 2 or 3 hours. And when I finally be able to finally get into it, it all says login error, server crash, all that other stuff, and I'm back to square one. It's a roundabout.
it's a frustrating mess, to be honest. I mean, even when I tried it a couple of times when the first thing came out, it was the same old thing. Going in, waiting for a queue, trying to log into the server. At that moment, logged out, error. And it continued this up until like I finally managed to get into the game, and it it was rough, and something like that for a game as big as Overwatch 2, not good.
Yeah, personally, I would suggest that the people of Overwatch do a lot of fixes and try to up their servers because they're seriously making a bad rep for Overwatch, and I don't want to give it a really bad rating because of it, because of all the stuff that's going on for the game.
And this is not we're not reviewing the game, guys. What we're doing is just expressing out
our
issues,
concerns.
the concerns and technical issues that this game is having right now. It is the gameplay, everything is basically just like Overwatch, but with all the new places, new heroes,
and new technical styles for each player, each hero. But the thing is that sure it's a new game, and it's starting to have technical issues with the servers, but they're also under another DDoS attack, from what I heard.
a DOS attack.
Yes, from what I heard.
So then
They're trying to fix the issues, but luckily for right now, I was able to get in and play for a little bit, but that's only just for a little bit. It took me this long just to get into this darn game and finally be able to sync my account with this one. So yeah, all in all I'm saying is that Blizzard really needs to get their act together because this is a very good game. I like the characters, I like the heroes, and I want to play this more. But this has really been off-putting to me as a gamer, and I really voicing my opinions here. Try to get your act together, Blizzard.
Okay, my opinion on this issue is that Overwatch has been a very good game and had always been something that I wanted to learn about all the characters, the lore, even watching all of the videos based on the characters too, and watching how things play out. They could have their own series of shows based on this, basically. I don't see why they can't do that. But the thing is that Blizzard really dropped the ball when it came to Overwatch 2 and on its opening day. I mean, releasing it now, right now, as it is, it's not good. And for me personally, it's really not something that I want to be saying, but I would I would want this thing to be taken off and fixed to where it is able to have all of the stuff fixed, log in easier, and also have the first play the story mode added into it instead of just releasing it as is, because this is a complete mess, and I don't want to deter anybody who wants to play this, but as it is right now, it is just a mess to log in.
Yeah, unfortunately, because I mean, I just want to play this game and enjoy it.
Same here. I mean, but that is basically all I want to say about that.
Indeed.
So that's it for that one.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to get my thoughts and opinions off of this whole thing, and just for the 2 days that we've been trying to play the thing and finally being able to play it, I just feel like really frustrated.
Okay, well,
Let's
now
just
that aside, we're going to do a game review based on
the great Ace Attorney Chronicles. I mean, sure, it's October, and we were planning on trying to do some spooky games,
but we don't have anything good just yet until we can figure out something. But for right now,
the great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Whoever thought that this game, this gem of a game, would be finally reaching our shores? Ever since it was announced for Japan in 2017, from what I heard.
Yeah, I believe it was done during that time. And during that time, people had wanted to at least try to get this game localized, but the issue was because they used Sherlock Holmes in the game, and the name is
very contestant towards a certain writer that had Sherlock Holmes in certain stories.
The brand Sherlock Holmes belongs to England. And from what I believe is that they have the right to the name. So when Japan decided to add this to the game,
They kind of say England
no,
said
they're
no.
not.
No,
You're not
doing
going
that.
to do that. You're not going to release the game like that. So if you're going to keep it like that, you cannot release it anywhere. And that was a complete bummer to all of us who wanted the game localized.
But then there were some how should I say this?
Certain people out there who eventually
Got a hold of the copy of the game in Japanese and translated it into English as the best as they can.
so basically they I believe the ones who did it were called the Red Scarlet
The
Scarlet Red or Scarlet something. I forget what the name was, but this group eventually translated the Great Ace Attorney. Okay, excuse me, I'm still a little bit out of it from work, but they translated the game into English to the best of their ability and put it out there for people to play. So, and then we watched a couple of our favorite VTubers, one being Nico B.
Nico B, shout out to you, man. We enjoy your voice work of the entire Ace Attorney stuff.
Yeah.
And
So,
a great Ace Attorney. So major shout out to you.
Okay.
We enjoy it.
okay, so basically, he played the first game of the Great Ace Attorney, and we were pretty much hooked and hoping that the game would be released. And lo and
Lo and
behold,
behold, in 2021, we finally get a release date of the Grace Ace Attorney on July of 2021 of last year.
so basically, what happened is that the people figured a way to get around the loophole with England. And so instead of using the name Sherlock Holmes, they just called him Herlock Sholmes.
Yeah,
It's just a
reversal
reversal.
of the name, but we still call them by the original names.
Sherlock
Even Iris Watson was supposed to be
Iris. Her name was originally
Iris Watson, but they changed it to Iris Wilson.
But we all know who she is and all this other stuff. So basically, the translation for the game is close to what the
Original was supposed to be, but it's a little different from then. So basically put, we finally get our hands on the great Ace Attorney, and all I could say is it's a step above the rest of the other great Ace Attorney games. But I'm not saying that it's a better game, but I like the entire Ace Attorney series as a whole. I mean, there's also the Great Ace Attorney trilogy. There's also Apollo Justice.
but then of course the other two
Games being
Ace Attorney games for the 3DS
and the Ace Attorney investigations with Miles
Miles
Edgeworth.
Edgeworth.
The only problem is that the second one hasn't been released.
The second one has its
Controversies.
because of how dark and how bleak it is. So I mean, it's the only game that we don't have, but hopefully, we'll probably get it sometime. But for right now, Great Ace Attorney Chronicles has the two games for the Switch.
Which is the Great Ace Attorney Adventures and the Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve.
Yes, basically, you got these two games in which you can play. The Great Ace Attorney Adventures is the start of the game, from where you start with Ryunosuke Naruhodo,
Which is Phoenix Wright's ancestor back in the Japan era.
and you follow him through his trials and tribulations from starting off in Japan and then going off to England, where he starts his legal
Practice.
and he eventually comes in contact with Herlock Sholmes, but from now on we're going to call him Sherlock Holmes. So basically, he lives with Sherlock and Iris,
And they go through some trials with uncovering some secrets, which we're not going to spoil. But all I could say is the trials are very good and in depth. You get to do many different things compared to the other Ace Attorney games, like
Some of the gameplay is pretty much the same, but there's quite a bit, quite
mechanics.
a large amount of new mechanics in the system. So, like, basically,
You got a jury,
well, I was talking about, like, the investigations first.
right?
So, investigations wise, we got Sherlock Holmes doing his um, deductions, basically. And then his deductions are kind of off the mark quite a bit, so it's up to Ryunosuke to get him back on track. So that's one of the things that that's fixed. So and then the third thing is second thing is of course the trial. The trials have the juries, which are handpicked from people in London. And then it is through the jury and the judge who decides the verdict. And the third thing is that let's see, I believe closing arguments, because like in
previous Ace Attorneys, there were no such things as
closing arguments, because if you're found guilty, that's it, you're done. But in this game,
you could basically be found guilty, but have one last shot into persuading the jury to sway them to change their verdict. So basically, if you got like a full set of guilty, all you need to do is do a closing argument to switch three jurors to not guilty to continue the trial. That's basically it.
Yes, and so that is basically what happens from the Great Ace Attorney Ventures. And then in the second game, it is, well, basically everything is still the same, but the story is a lot more dark in depth, and
reveals a lot of things at
the end. Basically, this one is like the best game out of the two, because it concludes everything in a nice package. And it is huge for those of you who want like something dramatic or something impactful. This part of the game is something that you would probably want to go through and listen to all of it.
I mean, this is a whole just novel story, but it's like point and clicking. You find evidence, you gather clues, you try to talk to people, gather information from them, and in the trials you use all of that in order to find your solutions and catch the culprit. I mean, that's the basic gist of it. I mean, personally, in my opinion, I love the Ace Attorney, and this whole Chronicles thing really grabs at you. And if I want to put it in my opinion, my own honest opinion, I would certainly rate this a 10 out of 10.
Well, I have to agree with you there, because there are quite a lot of stuff in the game that also adds to like certain things that you guys, if you guys are liking novel like games like the Ace Attorney games out there, this game is just as good as the others, but it also has a lot of other additional stuff that will make it easier for you, like the story mode that allows you to just watch things play out and allow the characters to do things like in a story, and you see how things play out and you see the evidence being presented and all that other stuff. And of course you got the auto scrolling, so you don't have to be pushing buttons all the time. So I mean, it's all easy, the slice of life stuff that makes the game more easier, and I just like the game and the characters in it. So basically, I would put it at a 10 out of 10s too. So it's 10 out of 10 for both of us here.
It's a perfect game just to read, just to also use your head in order to solve things.
But that's only for
casual people
people who like this kind of gameplay. So
mystery,
novel games like this.
Yeah, Personally, yeah, I love the game, and I suggest for anyone that likes to relax and also use their noggin to use your noggin in order to solve things. This is a game that I prefer anybody would try.
Yes. Well, in any case, thank you guys for watching. It's been kind of a little bit off for me. I'm just trying to get things situated here at home, and well, we'll be seeing you guys Friday. So
Yeah,
this is
we'll have something a little bit more spookier compared to this one.
yes.
But all I can say is be sure to leave a comment, like and subscribe for the video so we can get our content a little bit more out there for anybody else that would like to see or listen to news and get good reviews from just the both of us.
Also, please go onto my channel and check out some of the content that I have. It's different from the sort of stuff that I'm doing with my brother here. But if you're into Yu-Gi-Oh, just go onto my channel and check it out and help me get things rolling there, so that way I could get more content for you guys there. But in any case, this is Ventus of the Wind.
And your BB Gamer signing out.
Later, guys.